You're gonna cut the beard.
I think I'm gonna cut the beard.
Folks, tell Brian not to cut the beard because right now he's got the Vidal Sassoon stuff going on with his
I
hair.
do. Look at that. It's ridiculous, dude.
It's looking really
so
good.
I'm gonna go with a mullet. I don't know if you can't see it in the back, but
no.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fade the sides. I'm gonna mullet it down. I think a guy at work told me it's called a Kentucky waterfall. So I'm gonna perm all that, and I'm just gonna rock it. Yeah, I mean, why not? Goodness. But yeah, I think I'm gonna cut the beard. There's just too much gray. I'm starting to look like a off-duty Santa Claus. You know what I mean? So.
Oh man.
Yeah, either that or I'll pick that up as a side gig. You know what I mean? So make a little Christmas cash by being Santa Claus at a local mall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in lieu of our guest tonight, this show is unofficially sponsored by Red's Wicked Apple.
Unofficially,
because what happened in Cinderella, man? Who gave Cinderella the apple?
The witch.
A witch.
That's right.
Now we're gonna have a witch on tonight, but she's not like one of those ugly, festered, big nose looking.
She's not a wicked witch.
She's not a wicked witch.
Not a wicked witch. And I suggest you watch what you say. You might get a spell cast on you or something that. So
I'm being nice to Roxanne like you wouldn't believe, dude.
All right, fair enough. And I'm still just drinking my regular old Diet Dr Pepper because I am boring and I don't have anything to show.
Well, Brian is the resident teetotaler on the show, that's fine, dude. It's fine.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's bring Roxanne Jasparro on. Hello, Roxanne.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh yeah, sure. So I put out feelers because we're always looking for guests, and Roxanne answered on a paranormal. I forgot which page it was, but I ended up talking to her, and she had some pretty interesting things going on, and with her paranormal agency. Is that something you just operate out of all the time? Is that your thing?
No, it actually I laugh when I say paranormal agency because being a psychic medium, being a witch, that's always been who I am, what's around me all the time. But I realized that people would call me for different things, because I am a witch, and do you come out and do you stage, do you do these things? So I realized I created kind of a subcategory from my business just for that. So like Bewitched After Dark, what I do after I'm in my shop and connecting people to loved ones and so forth. So that's the stuff I do to kind of help people with things that tend to stir around that time at night.
Do you ever do stuff within what is called the witching hour? Because that's
what I'm finding. So we always call it a witching hour, and it's usually between 2 and 3 in the morning. A lot of people will have experiences, connecting with loved ones or kind of things going on in their home. But what I have found is that like we, have certain times that we're awake and we go to sleep. All living things have different cycles, and even in death, there are different cycles that go on. So we're constantly bumping into each other. That's kind of how I put it, throughout the day and at night. And a lot of my cases, I go out during the day because I find that I'm able to see and sense things, utilizing the day energy, and then coming back at night and seeing what else is going on. So there's this big myth in the paranormal when I've talked with been with other paranormal groups that, they have to go out in the dark. And I'm like, whoever said when the lights go out that a spirit roams, and they roam all day long, So I think it's more of that kind of sense of the darkness. And most of the earth is quiet, so we're able to pay attention and see and hear things more. So that's why I think people think it's more at night. It's just we're more aware because we're starting to get in the subconscious, getting ready to sleep.
Hey,
that makes sense.
Oh, you got something, Brian?
No, I was saying that. Yeah, that makes sense. I always wonder that too about that witching hour type stuff. So.
Well, what's funny is in between the 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. period, like when you're out in the woods looking for the big hairy guy.
Yeah.
That's usually when you hear some really weird stuff going on, or something came into our camp around that time when we were out there.
Sure.
I don't know. Just always thought that was, it's called that for a reason.
Yeah, and it may be like she said. You're resting. Everything else is quiet. There's no other people moving around, and you just get that heightened sense about you, and you're able to pick up on a lot more. I mean, that does make sense. I never really thought of it like that. I don't know. I always just kind of heard people talk about that certain time of night, but yeah, it makes more sense that they would be 24/7. At least they have been for me. So,
go ahead,
Roxanne.
I find when, at night, especially if you are, I guess, searching for the big guy, a woman, I find that when we're quiet at night and everything else, more of the nocturnal animals are out, and they might be. You really just listen to all the noises and just put your hands in the ground. And I know this might sound crazy to some people, but lean up against a tree, you really be able to feel the vibration of everything around you and have a greater perception and even a deeper connection to things that you will sense and hear during the day too. So it's really great to kind of connect, to stuff around us. It's just we don't hear the cars, all that stuff at nighttime for the most part. So it's better if you're connecting or trying to get something that lives in nature and, connect more on that time when you don't hear all those other things going on.
I've met people in our community that are really spiritual towards looking for Bigfoot,
Yeah.
Tanya Knight, for instance. She's very... In fact, her and Roxanne would probably get along.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I could probably talk about, oh, my God, everything. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, she connected to respecting all living things.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are definitely vibe.
Yeah, she's one of those, like, when she saw our tracks that we cast, like, she was really, like, into the tracks and, like, trying to feel,
the energy off them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, everything leaves a residual energy. When you guys put that mold into, because I've seen it on TV, people do it. When you pour that, what is it, concrete or something into the footprint?
Yeah, some of it's plaster. So.
Yeah, when you pop it out, do you ever keep some of the dirt?
Oh yeah, always.
It's interesting you say that. I've actually dug up a whole track because we didn't have enough plaster, so I just dug it up. I brought it home.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I contaminated it, but I'm still 50-50 arguing with myself whether or not to get it tested or not for, environmental DNA, just for the hell of it,
I would. They always leave it, and they're it's not just from a science perspective of like that DNA. There actually is energy feelers that are still within that print that someone like myself or someone else that connects with energy at a deep level would be able to sense and get an idea if it was male, female, things like that.
Well, I guess I'm going to be sending Roxanne some dirt.
Yeah, just mail her
I am a collector of dirt, so
that'll be awesome.
Yeah, it'll come in like a little moonshine mason jar because I collect those, and so.
Does it come with moonshine too?
I can arrange that.
Probably not if it's coming from Shane. It's going to be an empty jar. that moonshine's going to already be gone. I'm sorry. So.
I'd be like, I'm just seeing moonshine.
Oh yeah. We got people from Texas and London saying hello.
Ooh, London, Texas, awesome. Hello.
Yeah. So you said earlier that you talk to departed loved ones?
Yes.
So that's like a medium type stuff then, right? I'm not real familiar with that side. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that.
So I connect with your loved ones on the other side, as well as animals. Anything that is living that dies, I can communicate with. And I'm a psychic too, and I have a lot of different abilities in that. So, in my readings, you'll not just your loved ones, I'll be able to see things, kind of what happened in your past, present, and what's coming.
So is that like sorry, Shane, is that like on demand for you, or do you just like you say you walk, like you're talking to us right now, would it just be something just random, like somebody, like Shane or I, one of our relatives from the past, could just like tap you on the shoulder and say, "Hey, Roxanne, that's my so and so. Tell him he needs to shave that ugly beard off his face," or something like that. Like, okay.
Oh. So I tried to give myself downtime, because I'm always staying connected, and it's, to be connected all the time, it can be very draining, especially the world that we live in today. So I try to disconnect, but every time I do, I always call them freshies, but dead people show up, and it's like, oh my, and I get scared, sometimes because, when you're preparing for a reading or you're out, you're expecting to somewhat, see someone behind the waitress or this or that. But like when you're getting ready, like I'm in my store and I'm hearing someone walk in my store, I'm expecting to see someone come around the corner, and then boom, I see someone. It literally, I scream.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's funny because I shouldn't be scared, but I wasn't expecting a dead person. I was expecting, because I was hearing with my audible ears, a real person walking in with footsteps. So, they keep me on my toes.
Yeah, that'd be too much for me. So,
yeah,
I have a lot of my own ghost experiences and things like that, but that would definitely get me if I had that on a daily.
Maybe she can connect with your grandma, dude.
No, let's not.
Oh, let's not. No,
let's not. You've seen the picture of that lady. Let's not.
She probably have a lot to say to you, huh?
Yeah, she probably would. So I could see her doing this right now. So, yeah. And I'm not even psychic or a medium or anything. So I just know her well enough. So, Shane's got a question that somebody's asked. So.
Yeah, actually, this is a question I was going to ask Roxanne, but it looks like someone else has beaten me to it. When did you first realize you were a witch?
So when I was very young, as early as I can remember, probably was like around 5 years old. I would walk around and I would be blind, and my mother used to yell at me all the time, "Roxanne, you're not blind." I'm like, "Yes, I am. I can't see." And I did this for my mom told me this later, but I remember doing this. This is the crazy thing. When I was about 5, my grandmother we were living in Texas actually at the time. And then we moved back. My father was in the military. We moved back here to Rhode Island. And my grandmother came over, my mom's mom, and said, yelling at my mom, saying that basically, she's not lying. She's not crazy, And as I got a little older, my grandmother said I was a witch, and she was a witch. So we were the only witches in the family. So as I got a little older, I said, I really believed her. And then as I got a little older, I said, "Oh, was she just saying that because I see all these crazy things and she's trying to make me feel like good about myself?" But no, she was right. She was a witch and I was a witch. And every year around Halloween, I could be myself. I could be a witch and wear my hat and everything. And it wasn't until I got older that I realized I didn't need to hide who I am anymore. I'm just going to go out there and be a witch, and that's that. But, I don't look like most people would think a witch would look like or act like. But we're all different and we're all unique. But it was when I was very young, I knew I was different. I didn't know I was a witch until my grandmother told me.
Wow.
But I was always fascinated. Every year for Halloween, I was a witch. So.
See, I think my grandma might have been a witch. So.
Yeah. You mostly got your gifts from a maternal side of the family. Is she your mom's mom?
Mm-hmm.
Or your dad's? Your mom's mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It usually comes from the maternal side. I have it on both sides on the maternal side, but there's a strong link when it's on the maternal side. And my son has, a gift. So, it doesn't have to be just female. It's just usually more prevalent in females.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think my ex-wife was a witch.
She probably was. I believe all women are. Witch is wise woman. People think you're a witch and you're Wiccan. That's not the truth. Wiccan is a religion.
There you go.
So Todd Dreher says that he is also, I guess he's saying that he's also a medium.
Yeah, I think he's asking, are you a medium or an intuitive empath? such as he is. So I think that's what he's asking. So
okay, so I'm going to explain that question to you. So the intuitive empath, okay, every person on earth is an empath. Okay, our degrees of it are different. So an empath is able to sense, feel. You ever walk in a room and go, ooh, I want to go to this party, but something in here feels kind of off. That's you sensing, okay? That's your animal instincts, which is those empathic feelings that something isn't right. Now, an intuitive empath is someone who's going to go a little bit deeper and be able to say, okay, there's someone in this room I'm sensing, and then when they meet the person, they know that energy is coming from them. Or they're intuitively getting messages in their head saying, this is happening or this is going to happen. But it's not the same as being psychic, because psychic, then it breaks it down into these other categories. And then a medium is someone who communicates with your deceased loved ones.
Okay.
So it's, if you look up me online, like I'm a psychic medium witch, and, I love life. Like, that's my description, because if I described every single thing I could do, it gets a little crazy. But I find that anybody who has abilities, other abilities will start to open up as you start to work it, like any tool, right? If you're a baseball player, if you stop practicing, you're probably going to suck, even though you probably were born with the gift to be really good. So you constantly have to sharpen your tools to keep sharp.
Makes sense.
So yeah, so I am an intuitive empath and a medium. I know it gets confusing though.
Yeah, this is all new to us.
Yeah, that's all new to me. So,
but that was
my stuff is limited. So
that was one of the things when we started doing this show. I mean, we're doing this so we can talk to different people and find out what's going on out there besides what we're doing. So this is really great that you're sharing all this. Looks like Todd's been a paranormal investigator, researcher for 29 years.
Wow.
Crypto for 27, cleanings for 15.
And demonology.
Cool, man.
Demonology for 3 years. I read a little bit about that. So.
Well, now, Roxanne, you dabbled in an exorcism. You've seen it, right?
Yes.
You can elaborate on that.
So before I get into the exorcism, which so everyone here knows, I did not go in thinking I was going to perform one, okay? So I do different kind of healings when I see things. I'm able to remove them, and I was never given a book or a way to do it. I'm just intuitively guided in a psychic space that is not here. That makes sense. It's a different plane. And we tend to go in those planes when we go into deep sleep or we go into a deep meditation. There are different levels of energy that we're able to ascend up to and descend down to. Now, the exorcism which actually brought me into the paranormal world. Okay, because I'm like, I need to find me a demonologist. Okay, because since I was a kid, I've always been able to see things that were not of the light. So I used to make sure my room was completely black. I didn't have to see anything. So I literally Wednesday Addams would sleep with the blankets over my head. And one time my mom woke me up and she goes, Roxanne, where's Sunkiss? Now Sunkiss was my snake. And I'm like, she's in the cage. No, she's not. She's out of the cage. Oh, I go to get up and I open my pillow. She was underneath my pillow.
Wow.
All curled up. Yeah. So every night she used to come up, get out. My mom used to put brick after brick, every night. But I had these amazing dreams that would take me to Egypt, take me to all these different places. But I started not to be fearful of those things, those darker things that I was seeing. Then I started to realize that every time I saw them, wasn't fearful, and looked at them with get the F out of my room, they left. And so I started to see these things and realize that they were energies that to the human eye were trying to make me think they were this or that. But they were trying to get into the minds and the auric space of people to make them do things to themselves or to others. So fast forward, through my teenage years, my 20s, when I decided to do this full time and drop out of law school and be a witch, I started getting people in my store that just said GPS brought them there. They thought it was like a video store game, crazy stories of how they got there. But they had these energies around them that were trying to get them to actually commit suicide. And I knew what they looked like, and I could see them because I seen them when I was a kid. So I've been doing a lot of studies with adults and kids with these types of things. And through my different energy healings, they were able to be freed of it. I've only had a few people that have come back that I had to rework, but there was traumatic things that end up happening after. So it's kind of like I said, you got to keep working at it, and you got to keep yourself in a certain space. And one of the things that I found out is that every single one of these cases, and I say cases, even though they are people, because I just don't want to say specific names or anything like that, is that every single one of them was abandoned by a father. Now, I do a lot of reading. I read ancient novels. I do a lot of studying because, again, I was going to school to become a lawyer. So I'm very logical, but I know what I'm seeing and I know what's happening in front of me. So now I'm trying to connect, those two fields. Well, one Palm Sunday, I have a Reiki 2 class, which is an energy form of healing yourself within and helping healing others. It's an ancient Japanese technique. And so during this, there was a young girl, she about, I don't know, maybe at the time 15, not even 16 yet. So she was those golden, years of when your abilities start to open up and you start questioning things. Well, I noticed she started she couldn't handle the light in the room that was bothering her. She had to leave. She was very not herself. Her skin color looked off. I said, "Are you okay? Are you sick?" Now, I had other students, her sister and other people in the room, so I knew what was kind of going on, but I couldn't alert my class. Well, we go to end the class. Before we end the class, a bird hits my window and dies. So I'm like, okay, how many more signs do I need that I need to tell everyone to exit to the left and leave her here with me? Okay, here's my son down at church, altar serving, mind you, coming with his palm, walking down the street, and he goes, Mom, I felt like I was supposed to give this palm to this guy that comes in, but this light from the St. Joseph pane window came through and told me, I heard a voice in my head tell me to keep it. He goes, but I've been walking this whole time and I can't tie it the way he would tie it or whatever. And so at this point, now that's a little bit kind of ahead, but at this point when he's, in church and getting all these signs and everything, his mother is attuning everyone in her reading room. And then all of a sudden I have my friend who's a shaman. She was in the class and she was getting her Reiki too. And she started burrowing. I seen her physically doing something and spiritually. And she knew we were in deep shit. Can I swear on this?
Oh yeah, you bet.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
And so I seen the girl and I felt her. She was starting to get really hot. And I said, okay, I got to shut this down. So I set up my protection. I kept seeing darkness, but then I seen 2 Native American men walk into my Reiki room psychically. So I knew at that point I was getting help. Those weren't the shadow figures trying to get in. And so I told everyone, take a deep breath. And, I'm looking at everyone and trying to be calm, cool, collective. And everyone's like, oh, yep, no, okay, I feel good. This feels good. And then I look over at the girl and her eyes, I seen the whites of her eyes. And it was going down. And I said, okay, everyone get off the Reiki bed. Everyone was off because everyone was sitting on it. Everyone get off. I had to lay her down. And I just ironically had a St. Benedict prayer in Latin on my phone. I had just gotten dirt from the Vatican from a client of mine. Like everything just kind of, I had the tools that I needed without knowing I was ever going to need them in a weird way. That's how spirit kind of works.
Yeah.
So I yell at one of the girls, go get my dirt. And the one with the blue cap, because it's from the Vatican, and I start putting the dirt on her palms and everything. It's literally, her skin is burning. Like it literally had like burn marks of the cross on her hand. Okay. She felt like she was 120 degrees. I'm doing my thing. I get the St. Benedict prayer. I see this huge light behind me. I'm pulling stuff out of her solar plexus that feels like tar. Okay. But like looser, it was really weird. But I remember it looking like blackish brown. It was weird. And I'm pulling it and I'm pulling it. I'm pulling it out. And then all of a sudden, now I'm telling you, I looked in her eyes. I seen like reptilian eyes. So anybody has ever told you like, there's this reptilian thing to, Satan or whatever. All I can tell you is what was ever in her was reptilian, like those eyes. I know what those eyes look like, it's reptile eyes. But it was, the colors of it were so almost like they were on fire, but not like just so illuminated, I guess is the word, that then it would flip back and I'd see her eyes and I could see her struggling. Okay. Then all of a sudden I hear, and I'm almost done. I got almost all this stuff out. I hear, shut it down, like loud as can be in my head. I had all this light beings behind me. It all gets shut down. Okay. The girl, now I look at her. Okay. I'm brushing the dirt off. That's how I started to notice that it was imprinted like burn mark. Okay. In her skin. Now her mother's on the other side of my store at this point, because she was coming to pick her up. I had to have one of my other practitioners go and tell the mom, like, we have a situation. And the girl gets up, her sister who was in the class with us brings her in the bathroom. She's starting to dry heave, trying to throw up. Yeah. On Palm Sunday.
Wow.
So I had to tell the mom, hey, what's been going on with her? She goes, well, she went to the emergency room. They didn't know what was wrong with her. Like she was having these convulsions, nothing medically wrong with her.
That's intense. Like I'm weirded out. So
okay, I'm still weirded out. Well, that's why I'm gonna have another drink.
Man, y'all need a drink. Now, I need Jesus.
Right?
I'm going to church.
Listen, this was the craziest thing is that I made rosaries and everyone's like, you're a witch. You're like, I'm like, listen, like Buddha, Mother Mary, all them. I'm not one of those people that's like, this religion this is the, the way to God and blah, blah. I know all roads lead to God. I know that. Okay. I know that through things I've seen and what I've heard and what I've experienced, not in a book, not in this religion and that religion. If you really do your homework and read all the religions, they're all the same stories. The goddesses and gods are all the same gods, and they all merge. I always think of a Wizard of Oz, like all lead into the Great Oz. Okay, Doesn't matter which way you go, they are going to lead you there. Okay, but my rosary broke 3 times. Now I make jewelry, and I'm not like priding myself on like the best jewelry maker. But I know, certain things in jewelry when you got to make them, pretty good, tight, make sure they're not, loose. This thing broke 3 times when I was making my coffee. Now I could see one, it broke in 3 different spots, not even the same spot. So I said to myself, maybe, I know it's Palm Sunday, but maybe someone in my class might take offense to it or might, So I took it as a sign that it might offend someone else. I'll never make that mistake again. It broke 3 times. Think about that. 3 is the number for God.
Yeah.
And in 3 different spots. And all around the Mother Mary pendant that I had in the middle of it.
Yeah, I agree with you on your outlook on religion as far as all religions are the same. I run into that with people when they start trashing one religion and saying their religion's this. And I'm like, if you really get down to the root of it all, it's all about the same. Just different names, different there's a few differences in them along the way, you know, but a lot of people don't look at it that way. Just like if you're Christian and you're Muslim, we can't be friends. And I'm just like, yeah, I think we can, you know. So I don't know. So people need to be open their eyes a little bit more to that, and I think they'll see a lot of those similarities. So.
You know, I think at the end of the day, it's about being human and knowing that we are all faulted. And at the end of the day, we just need to love one another, even if we don't agree. Love the fact that we have the ability to disagree and you know, argue and then come to the, you know, round table with a beer after, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
People just, they just take things so, you know, maybe they have to, I don't know. But I just find that, you know, why can't we just all get along?
Exactly. We had a comment earlier, and I didn't get it up there, but is when you were talking about accepting who you were, and it says that's amazing. Wear your hat proud. So, definitely. So,
yeah, that's good. Hey, Roxanne, weren't you in touch with the mother or the girl's mother or something like that today? Or
oh yes, yep. We had another little situation, and you know, getting down to the bottom of it, it all comes down to, you know, remember everything in the paranormal. When anything tries to communicate with you or work into your space, they're doing it from a psychological standpoint, right? They're going to take things that are going on in your life or things that have gone in your life in the past and try to influence you in the future. So, you know, we just came to the conclusion that there's some roadblocks going on. You know, she is like 16 now, 17. And we need to work on those things so we don't run into a situation like we did last time.
Yeah.
You know, allowing yourself to get in a space of vulnerability.
Man, that had to be scary.
The only thing I can think.
You know, I'm not one of those people that just like leaves their people, like, you know, all right, you know, let me go in your house. You got ghosts. I'm sure you knew that because you told me to come out here. But I caught maybe something on film, and have a nice day. I'm the person that goes in and goes, you got ghosts. Let's figure out what they are. The residual of this or that. Do you want them here? Do you not want them here? I'm going to try to figure out where we can work in a space where they're not messing with you and you're not messing with them. And we can all live happy, unless it's something that doesn't belong there. And usually those can't stay that long anyway. But we're there to solve the problem. We're there to learn and expand and live, you know, without fear. You know, and that's a stigma to think we're like the only ones out there in the world. Mm-hmm. It's kind of really egotistic, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And all right, here's my ghost story for you that recently happened.
Okay.
And Shane has not heard this. I haven't shared this with the guys. And when I say the guys, Shane, Dustin, Tim, and I, we talk every day.
Yeah.
We just do. We're worse than 12-year-old girls. We gab all day long, and our women think we're ridiculous, but we are, and we talk.
That's all right. You have a bromance.
Here we go again.
Major bromance. Let's just go ahead and get it out. Last week, I guess it was last week. It might have been Thursday morning. I believe it was. Across from my bedroom is my son's room. He's 6 years old, and he's a very self-sufficient 6-year-old, meaning that I could come in his room, flip his light on at 5:45 in the morning, and say, hey, bud, it's time to get up, get dressed. I throw his clothes on the end of his bed for him. And he gets up, he gets dressed, he goes in the living room, he's getting his backpack, he's ready to comb his hair, he gets some breakfast, and we're gone. So I usually get in the shower, then I come across the hall, and I wake him up, and then I go back into my bathroom, the master bathroom, and I fix this. I make this presentable, okay? And it's hard work. It really is. It's hard work. And so I come across, I wake him up, and he stirs around a little bit. I go back into the bathroom, and I'm combing my hair and doing all that stuff. And I come out of my bedroom, or out of my bathroom into my bedroom, and my door going into the hall is about halfway open. And the house is dark. The only light on is the main bathroom down the hall. And the door swings open, and there is this black figure. And I want to say it's maybe 4 foot tall, maybe a little over 4 foot tall. And all I see is an arm against the door and the body of it, and it races down the hall towards the living room. Now, tell me about it. And so when I first seen it, I thought, well, it's him, and he came out of his room, and maybe he like tripped, and he, fell against the door, and he had to pee real bad, is what my first thought was. And I thought maybe my eyes weren't focusing right because I come out of a lit bathroom into a dark bedroom, dark hall, So I'm rationalizing it as I go. So I walk to the edge of my bedroom. I'm standing there like facing the hall, facing his room. And I can't see his bed because when you go through his room, you got to turn left and then his bed's there. So I kind of just say, hey, Landon, where you at? And he says, I'm in my bed getting dressed. So I walk across the hall and I said, did you just go to the bathroom? He said, no. He said, I'm getting my socks on. And I said, okay. So I come back out, I look down the hall, it's just pitch black. So I go into the living room, turn the lights on, nothing's there. And I thought, okay, I'm going crazy until this morning. So we went out of town yesterday. We got back kind of late. We sat around for a few minutes. We go to bed, and it's just her and I. No kids are here. And I wake up about 30 minutes before the alarm. So I wake up right at 5 a.m. And I'm just laying there. I'm like, this alarm's going to go off soon. I'm laying here. Alarm goes off. I just immediately hit stop on it, and I'm still laying there. And then I start to hear somebody talking. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. And I see a light flash. And I'm thinking somebody's outside, and they're shining a flashlight through one of my bedroom windows. So I grab my pistol because I'm thinking it's an intruder, right? It's somebody messing around. And I go and I peek around the corner and I look down and my TV is on in the living room. Now, this is where it even gets weirder. So to turn on the TV, it's not just a simple power on and the TV's on. You have to power on and then go to the input and hit the HDMI 1 for the cable to come on. But this thing was on and playing. I have no explanation for that.
What was it playing? What was on?
I really don't remember. I just remember it was a man and woman talking. That's all I remember. And I just walked in and turned it off and kind of looked around because we thought that Renee's daughter came home in the middle of the night. She's 21. And so I went back to her room, which is the farthest bedroom, and looked in there to make sure that like she didn't come in, turn the TV on and whatever, but she wasn't here. It was just Renee and I. So I don't know. It was just weird. And like I said, I've had so many weird things happen to me since I was a little kid that the little black figure that kind of threw me off. So
it sounds like it's a manifestation of actually a spirit. So you are like your eyes may see it as a quick black figure, but when we think of those colors too, when we think of like black, we always think bad. But it takes a lot of energy to form that color because that's all the colors of the rainbow coming together. So it's not always necessarily bad. And is it your wife?
Soon to be fiance.
Renee?
Yeah.
Okay.
Renee, yeah.
Are you guys having any more kids?
No. We're done. We're done. So
was the figure, was it going towards your son's room?
No, it looked to me like it ran towards the living room. Or
like maybe it was coming from it?
It could have either came from his room or from Renee's daughter's room.
Okay. We tend to, it may even be someone kind of connected to your son. Your son's 6 too. I have a 6-year-old son, and he talks to deceased people. He sees them and stuff. And I don't know if your son has shown any of that. But sometimes they have their own spirit guides and stuff. So,
yeah. And I've lived with what I call a shadow man. I lived in the same house with one for about 8 years and saw him on a regular basis. Very tall, slim man with a tall, flat brim hat. Yeah. And when I first seen him, it kind of weirded me out because I thought, man, there's some guy standing at the side of my bed looking at me, you know, when I wake up at around that 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning hour.
And I know him very well.
Yeah, and then it got to be where he showed himself a lot more. He showed himself in the kitchen. He threw a glass dish across the kitchen into the dining room, opened up all the kitchen cabinets. I've had him tug my pants up when I was in the bathroom and almost lift me up. Turn light switches off for me on demand, close doors on demand. It was a weird deal, but like I never felt like I was afraid. You know, it was just like, it's something that was odd. And when you tell people that, they kind of look at you like you're crazy, you know, and like, well, isn't that spooky? Well, yeah, it kind of will make you jerk a little bit when you see it, but you realize quick that it's just like you said earlier, just because it's a black figure doesn't mean it's death coming for me or anything like that.
Well, that particular one we can have a conversation about. That particular one I've had to remove from many kids. And a lot of them had abandonments from father. So I don't know if that's something, you know, you might want to not discuss on here, but you have, right?
I'm an open book, Roxanne. I will tell everybody. Renee hates it. She's like, you share too much. I don't care. Yeah. A single mother growing up.
Yep. So that shadow figure, I'm one abandoned too. Okay. So I've always seen them, but he particularly, he'll get, especially at the ripe age of like, sometimes with one particular kid, the youngest kid I had when this figure was around and was around 8, 9 years old, and a nurse, he went into like a psychiatric hospital, and the nurse there said, call this girl. She's going to help you, because what we're going to do is we're going to medicate him and keep him in a padded room. So the young boy comes to me, and he had this particular figure around him downstairs teaching him how to make like pipe guns.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I mean, it can get very deep. You know, I'm not saying you were the one making guns.
No. And mine was
but there's some thoughts that went in your head when he was around.
Mine was with me as an adult. I was probably, I mean, this is 20? Recent. I'm 44 now, so this would have been probably my mid 30s, early 30s. Yeah, probably my early 30s up until my late 30s. And
so he's been with you the whole time, right?
Yeah. And I saw him I lived in one house for 7 or 8 years where he was. And when I moved out of that house, I asked him to stay. Just because I didn't want to deal with him anymore, I guess. And we moved into a brand new house because we thought it was attached to the house. I saw him once there outside the window during the day. Actually my daughter's room, ironically enough, and now she's the one having the deals now. And I have not seen him since I left that house, and I've lived in 2 other places since. This is the first shadow or black figure, whatever you want to say, that I've seen since then. A lot of my stuff started when I was about 9, 10 years old, but it was more of like voices. I had like just things move. I don't know, just weird, spooky stuff that it would be a whole show. We could talk about just my stuff that's happened to me as a kid. So a lot of crazy stuff has went on. But my daughter now, like I said, is 15, and she's started experimenting with her iPhone, just taking selfies, you know, like girls do, right? And she's getting the box, the face pixelation, always over her left shoulder. And she's doing it in random places. Now, crazy thing is she lives with her mother. They live in a house 2 streets over from the house where we live with the shadow man, with the shadow figure guy. So she's starting to have all this stuff. She's had like her remote control to her TV end up in weird places. Her blanket moved in weird places. She has told me that she has been asleep and woke up and heard people talking in her room. Just weird stuff like that. And she's not scared by it. She kind of thinks it's cool. So she's kind of embraced it, but I'm a little concerned because I know just some of the things that I had dealt with, and I don't want, like you said, that negative stuff to get to her and lead to a dark spot. So
the most important thing you want to do with her is make sure she's empowered and not fearful, because that particular man likes to pry on your dark spots, your insecurities, start to make you think things about people that are not true, people that are good for you. They'll start saying that there's something wrong with them, or, I'll be honest, his main role is to have you commit suicide. And I have many, many, many cases. And like I said, I've been doing a lot of studying, and I have a lot of notes, and I'm trying to find, the keys to this. And what I have found is that, when we talk about, we talk about the Bible, we talk about Jesus, we talk about any religion, it always starts with like God, right? And then he sent his son, the most beautiful angel, down to earth because he was disobedient and wanted to reign with the humans. Well, he's the first one abandoned by his father, and technically so was Jesus in a way.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm finding is there are correlations to the existence of our time, of the stories of what we know. Okay. So when we talk about, I want to talk about Star Wars, which I've never seen, and one of my best friends, like, you need to watch Star Wars, Roxanne, because you live in it. And I'm like, I won't watch Star Wars. It's like light versus dark, but we are both light and dark. So when people say, like, I'm just a white witch, or I work with white magic, there is no way possible. You are only working with the white side of you, because we work with both. When you get angry and tell someone where to go, you're working from a darker place. So just keep an eye on your daughter. Let her know, she's got to understand that we don't want to welcome it too close, especially because she's at the age where, she self-image, all that stuff is.
Yeah, she just texted me.
If you have any issues, I am a type of person who can psychically remote view into any location, any place, walk in woods, wherever, and handle it. So I don't need to fly out there and come to your house, because where they reside is where I can go.
Okay. Yeah,
I do not charge for it.
She just texted me and said, "Oh my God, you're talking about me." So, and I said, "Yes, I am." So I told her she should tune in today, because I knew I was going to bring this up, and I knew she'd be interested. She doesn't care about this Bigfoot stuff that we usually talk about. She thinks it's silly. So.
No, it's real.
Yeah, and like I said, I got so much stuff that we could go on and on and on about. It's interesting though that you mentioned the abandonment and how this thing will put negative thoughts about people in your mind, because when I did live there, I had a lot going on. We was treating her for leukemia at the time. I was laid off from a job at that same time, living in that house, and I did have a lot of dark moments where I kind of did that about some people, and so that kind of makes sense that thing would be feeding that. So it was probably moving at that time was probably not the smartest thing I ever done, but I felt like I needed to go, and I needed somewhere fresh, and so I'm thankful that I did. But yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up, because now in hindsight, I started looking back at a lot of things and a lot of my behavior. It makes a lot more sense. So,
I had someone a client of mine who was in federal prison, was going to federal prison because he was going to shoot up his entire law school. And his mother came to me. She was of Spanish descent and said she thought someone put a curse on him, and all this stuff. And I said, "Is there any way you can get him here?" "Well, he's in prison." I said, "Okay, is he gonna get out?" I'm thinking, am I gonna have to remove you in? Like, what am I gonna have to do? And he was on probation where he could come out because he was gonna, go in front of, trial or whatever. Make a long story short, that particular entity was around him, and also abandonment from father. They used to live in Mexico and they live in the United States. So there was a lot of different things. And I know it's going to sound crazy, but this is the first time ever, like, I literally, remember that snake I told you when I was a kid that used to go underneath my pillow? I had one psychically that came out and did some kind of weird, like, devoured him psychically. I know it sounds crazy. and came back up, went on my arm. Now, this is all happening psychically, okay? Not actually there. You know, if for someone was in the room, they wouldn't be able to see this. Only I could see this. And I worked with him while he was on probation. And do you know, they dropped all charges. You know, I kind of told them, you know, you can't be saying that you see and sense these things. These people from the law are not going to understand that. They're going to think you're schizo and yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of people that have abilities are targeted as schizo or some kind of, you know, depression, manic, this and that. And it will turn into that because our mind, once we're told it so many times, can actually make it. Just like people that are like lie a lot, they can get to the point where they could pass a lie detector test because they believe their lies. Okay. So our mind is such a powerful energy force. People don't realize that we can cause disease, and I believe we can cure disease. Good story. He now was going to go back to law school, but now he's decided to, help other people. And now he's back with his kids, no shackles on his ankles, and all charges were dropped. But he was hearing like his professors tell him, like, the professors, like this voice was telling him that the professor was like the devil and all kinds of stuff, like real. And I knew psychically and being in his energy that he wasn't lying. Like I seen his experience. I was able to flash and see what he was seeing and sensing.
So you were able to help this guy?
Yeah.
So you are still kind of a lawyer. You're a ghost and spiritual lawyer.
There you go.
That's why I was going to school to become a lawyer, because I wanted to help people. And I had this extreme feeling of like justice. And, I was raised pretty much by a single mom who was, a lot of issues herself. But, I wanted to be able to be an advocate for people who it wasn't about money for me. It was about giving people fair representation. So now I do it differently. I do it with the gifts that God gave me. So
awesome.
Looks like Jilly England Paranormal is asking, what do you all do? I know they asked earlier if we was live, and Shane answered them and said, yes, we are live. What do we all do? I don't do anything.
I think they're asking like as far as the paranormal or
okay.
That whole thing goes. Well, Brian and I, we look for the guy that leaves these.
Yeah, that's all. That's our deal. We're looking for Bigfoot. So
this is what we do. We do the show so we can talk to other people outside of our realm. I mean, you can't do it all, so let's talk to other folks that do.
There's so many interesting things that that sometimes come back to Bigfoot for us.
Speaking of Bigfoot, Roxanne has a Bigfoot story.
There we go.
Yes, I do.
I've been waiting on this.
This is not the normal kind of Bigfoot story that a lot of people that Brian and I in our little odd high school community can deal with. But when you told me, I was like, I wasn't there, so I think it's great. So
all right.
And I'm still gonna find the woman that I was reading for, because I know she was recording. I let people record their readings so they can go back and listen, and you know what I mean? I say just don't record the face, just my voice, because I make some weird faces apparently when I channel, so I never want it on TV. So one day I was just in my store, my old location, and no one knows what, some of you who maybe some of my people that log on later will know what that location is, but it was 2 rooms side by side, and then there was like a glass door, and you walk over and that would be the retail area. So it was like 2 stores that I rented that had like a hallway in between. So on one side I did all my services, all my healing work, and then my reading room. And it was morning time, probably around, 9:30, 10. And I had my client for a reading. So she comes in, she sits down, and, I say to her, she says if she can record the session. I said yes. And then all of a sudden, I start to, do my thing and start to open up to see what I can see and sense for her. And all of a sudden I hear footsteps, and they're quite heavier footsteps. So I was a little like, I have bells on all my doors, so I hear when people come in, and it also shakes off any juju that they may be coming with them. So I don't hear the bells, and I look at her, I go, do you hear that? She's like, yeah. She goes, it sounds like someone's walking in. Now it's not that far, maybe 10 feet, 12 feet to my room, something like that. And so I'm just kind of like listening, because I want to hear, because are they walking like in my other side? Because this is an older building, so like you literally can hear things, And I'm like, no, that's in the room. And then all of a sudden I go in, like, intuitively just tell myself, like, I'm going to get up and go look, but I know this person, it's only like 12 feet, not even, their head's going to be popping in like right now as I get up. So I'm just waiting. Okay. I see this face come in. So see how the screen is here. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to do this. Wait.
Was it like,
hold on. This way. Okay. So it goes like, you see my head, it goes like, no, and then goes like that. Now this, I've never seen a Bigfoot. Okay. I'm putting this on record. Have never seen a Bigfoot. Okay. It was a woman that had like color hair like me, but she had hair. Okay. She would be what we would say a Bigfoot would look like, but she was like, I only seen her head. Okay. And she was hairy. Okay. Could this be a hairy human? Absolutely. But I've never seen someone, because there actually are humans. Mm-hmm. I forget what country they're from. They are fully haired.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, listen, I've seen many things, as you guys know tonight. I'm not really alarmed. And when I seen it, I just remember getting this immense feeling of gentle. But like, it was like she didn't know where she was. You know what I mean? It was like weird. She didn't enter into my room. Now, a deceased person doesn't, deceased people or things can move things, or you can hear things, but they're like translucent. Like you can see them, but they're not solid. She was like solid. That was the weird thing. I didn't see through her. And that was like the alarming thing. And as soon as she did her head like this and then went like this, it was like she was shocked. Like she didn't know where she was. And I didn't know what the hell I was seeing. Okay. We hear the footsteps. Now at this point, I look at my client and go, did you just see that? Because she's hearing it. So I'm thinking she's going to see it too. Like, am I seeing what I think I seen? And she's like, oh, I didn't see anything. She goes, but they're walking out now. So I get up and dash to the little entrance to my door, and look, nobody's there. Door never moved. I run to the door to see maybe like she went into the other side. Now, granted, I have bells. So all this, but when you're in that state of like, what the hell is that? Like, you're not thinking like, oh, the bells that, when I went back to sit down, she goes, I didn't hear nothing but footsteps. And she goes, I didn't. And I said, now here's my client, paying me to channel, obviously, her deceased loved ones. I can't tell her I just seen a friggin' Bigfoot. She's going to leave my room and be like, this lady's a crackhead. Like, I'm out, But at the time, I was like, I knew a couple of crypto, did I say that right, people. And I brought it to their attention, and they looked at me like I had 10 heads. And they obviously came to my, came down and came to my store, came in my room. And, it never happened again. There was no, and this has boggled my brain, because I'm like, did I see a deceased Bigfoot? Because I'm in the work of the dead, right? Or the in-between places. Mm-hmm. But she was so much more vibrant and more human-like. Like, I don't want to say thicker, but like she wasn't translucent. And anybody who's, I mean, when you've seen the black skinny guy, right, with the hat, mm-hmm. He's formed, but you can see that he's pixelated, right?
Yeah, he's
he's not like.
Yeah, I know he's not a solid person. Yeah, even though the first, well, not the first time, but like the third or fourth time I saw him, when I got a full daytime visual of him, I actually leapt over the coffee table and tried to punch him, because I thought someone was in my house.
Damn, Brian just straight punches.
Okay. So
yeah, it was crazy.
So that's something great to know because, see, this was during the day and yours was during the day. Mm-hmm. So, maybe if they're able to harness enough energy, they're able to make themselves appear more in our form, right?
Yeah. So, I could make out a silhouette of him, and I could tell that he was.
Is this what you look like?
No.
Yeah, he was. I could still see. I could see the wall behind him, but he wasn't completely transparent. You know what I mean? Like it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some shade to him, I guess, or some mass, or I don't know the correct way to, make that sound, but I could still see through him, but I could see him. I don't know. It was just weird.
He makes himself pretty black. He makes himself pretty close. Like he's there. It's not like a mist. He pulls out a full form. I've seen him. He's a shady character.
Very, very definitive edges. It wasn't like you said. It wasn't like a cloud or a mist. I mean, it was very wide shoulders, very V-cut guy. The hat was extremely flat, very tall, almost like a cow. The hat was tricky.
Go ahead. That everyone who has seen him describes the hat exactly the same, and it almost is like like the old pilgrim hats, almost like Puritan type.
That's it.
But it right, yeah.
That's it.
So he's.
I joked about that. I was like, he kind of looked like a pilgrim. You know what I mean? But he had a slim build to him that almost made me think cowboy. You know what I mean? But cowboys' hats are curved, and this hat was just completely flat. So. I don't know.
Yeah, almost like weird. Mafia. That's what I always felt like. He's a bad dude. Like he's ready. He's coming, and it's not coming with treats. He's not the Easter Bunny.
and very tall. This one was very tall,
like weirdly tall and disproportioned. If you really get a good look at him.
And I would say 6.5 foot to 7 foot tall. Like he had some really good height to him. So
there's a documentary on Amazon Prime on the Hat Man. And it's basically a lot of different witnesses interpreting what they saw, and none of them know each other. And it's just weird how it just kind of carries over into the next person's sight. What they saw, it's almost similar, very similar.
Yeah, and everybody can't be lying if everybody's seeing something very similar and they don't know each other. You know what I mean? It's just like when we talk about Bigfoot. Yeah, I know there are some people out there that lie, or not really outright lie, but they saw something, they say, "Oh yeah, it was Bigfoot." It probably wasn't Bigfoot, but not everyone's lying. Some people are seeing something. Obviously, I saw something. So
just today, we discovered that there's another person that's cast tracks of the same animal that we've been casting.
Identical. I mean, dead ringer.
Unbelievable.
So. Yeah.
Is it close to your place where you went or no?
Yeah.
Extremely close, like within a mile. So.
Which is great because hopefully we can talk with this guy further and maybe get a trajectory of where they're going. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah, I think he's once we meet him face to face, I think he's going to share a lot more information. So.
Yeah.
Renee says that we are coming to meet you, Roxanne, that she needs a reading. So
we're going to have to go to Rhode Island.
Well, all right. Awesome. I do them online too. So over the phone, Zoom, whatever.
He's like, you don't have to fly up here.
All right. Are you getting any weird vibes about me yet?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually thinking that every time that you've gone and you got a print, were you too... Brian, were you always with Sean?
Shane?
No, we were not.
Shane.
No, you
guys have always been not together.
No, we've been together.
We've been together and we've been separate. He's been
only
without me.
4 occasions where we've actually casted prints out of hundreds of times of going.
Yeah. So what we do is Shane and I live halfway from this place. Shane's in Texas. I'm in Oklahoma. And the place is in Oklahoma, so it's in between us. So we rotate. Shane may go, I may go. Sometimes we meet there together and hang out together, but a lot of times it's just me popping in or him popping in. And if we find something and we call everybody, and it's like SWAT team rolls in, and we all
awesome.
do our thing. So yeah. That's the only way we can monitor the place over the last 3 years.
Which is funny because I live in Texas. Brian, Dustin, Bill, you guys, and Tim, all you guys live in Oklahoma. Kendall, when he can come, he lives in Arkansas. It's just funny how we can all converge on one place and and just be there, you know. So
I don't know. I think you know, my thinking on Bigfoot, you know, like I said, since I've seen a female who was very gentle, like that's the only thing I can say is that she was scared because she didn't know where the hell she was, and I was scared too because I'm like, what the hell is this? But she was definitely had this like a mother, like a gentle energy. So that can help you guys in any way possible. So, you know, I think they go between places. I think they're able to kind of like, in a sense, you know how I say I can remote view into locations and walk around, and, you know, maybe they can do the same thing.
Okay.
Could you remote view the Bigfoot? Is there any way you could do that?
That's a question some viewers ask us.
I would love to try, actually. That's since I had that experience. You know, obviously, I didn't know what was going on. She ended up in my room, right? I didn't end up where she is. So I don't know, you know, how that happened or why it just happened. And I can only explain the experience. But I would love to go somewhere where people sense that they are and work my psychic, you know, all my different abilities in one location. See, you know, ever since I was younger, I used to tell my grandmother, like, I can hear, how do you know this is going to happen? And that, and the trees tell me. That's what I used to tell her. You know, there's a lot of energies, a lot of communication, and I feel that these particular Bigfoots work with elementals, like listening to trees and things like that. They know you're coming before you are there. That's why you get in the prints, you know. They get in that vibration. So I feel like, you know, maybe if you worked with someone that, but then again, does it really want to be caught? And would you really want people to know? You know, that's the other thing about it, you know.
Well, I'm really just doing this personally just to see one for myself. That's it.
And then everyone comes out and then they're hunted. That's the sad part.
Yeah, we have to deal with that. I don't know.
But maybe we can make a pact. We just get it on film, do a quick selfie, and then send them on a different location than where we found them.
Yeah, exactly.
Relocation program.
Yes,
yes, with the military. Yeah.
Well, you know, the thing is, if you could prove this thing exists, you could get it on endangered species list, and then we'd have some safety for it. So that would be the road I would want to take, is trying to create something like that. So
I'm going to send Roxanne some dirt just to see what she.
See she gets some.
I know. Just see what she can just say about it. Come on, that's interesting.
Yeah. Maybe I can pull like a psychic imprint, like a memory off it.
That'd be crazy.
I'll try it. I'll give it a whirl.
For you, Roxanne. In addition to all the research you do you go through any special training, or did you go through any special training?
So some of my classes I've taken from Lori Cabot, so like tarot classes, things like that. But for any of the training, when we talk about training, I became a Reiki practitioner. So I've learned to, you know, work with the energy. A lot of it is intuitive things that just kind of happen, and I kind of have trust and faith in who's guiding me. And, you know, we work through experience. And then when I come out of that experience, I try to find a lot of research. So I always make a joke, you know, I have a book guy. Some people may have drug dealers or whatever. Like, my drug dealer is my book guy. So he gets me books that like are not printed anymore, off the market. Like, he literally runs books for people with big money. Like, you know, so he's my book dealer, you know. Yeah. So, you know, not everything's on the internet. A lot of people have experienced a thing and they try Googling it and this and that. But a lot of stuff is in ancient texts and things like that You know, some of it you can find online, but it's very it becomes opinioned. You know, people rewrite it and form their opinion around it. You know, I want to see it in black and white, and you know, connect the dots between all these things, and you know, figure it out.
I got another question for you, because you know, Shane, you know how this stuff just intrigues me. Have you ever heard? I had a friend of mine tell me. Have you ever heard of the Hunter's Star?
The Hunter's Star, is that the same? Is that Al Gore in the sky? The demon star?
No. This is a deal where a guy is hunting, say for deer or whatever, you know, his target may be, and he receives a visual flash of light at a particular area, and then the animal would appear in that area. You ever heard of anything like that?
So yes, I never heard of it being called that before, but I have experienced that.
Okay. It's one of the reasons, and a lot of people don't know this about me, it's one of the reasons I don't hunt anymore.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It just got to the point. I felt like it was unfair. Because I could be basically not paying attention. I could scan and I would see this bright white little flare, like in the tree line, flicker at me. And then I knew it was time for me to just focus on that one point. I would focus on that one point, and a deer would step out, and I would shoot it, and my hunt would be over.
Yep. So remember that little video you guys were showing me? Remember I was very intrigued in light? That's why. So a lot of us who are sensitive. So Brian, that's why I asked if you go out, because I think you are the beacon of why you guys, this location, there's some, I think something you're connecting with in nature, and intuitively or not intuitively, understanding it, and you're drawing in the light. So when, you know, you walk around, you see these things, like we are light, so the animals sense it. I'll give an example. When I drive home every night or even during the day, I hear deer, or I've even heard a mouse that small, like slow down, and then I see the little flash of light, and then I see the animal.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Very similar.
I've even, and there's that little beacon, that little light. I've even had it open up into a vision where I've seen something. So, you know, there's something to it, but it can be unfair. But what you're actually connecting to is that energy I was telling, when you go out in the woods at night, and if you just connect with nature and communicate with the trees and everything else. I mean, people may think that's crazy, but science has actually now found that the algae on the trees communicate with each other. You know, they found, you know, what makes you think for everything to live, it needs a communication system within itself and with other things. So you're tapping into that. And that's how you're able to hunt. Now, when we had to literally live out in the woods and hunt for food, right? There were certain hunters and huntresses, women, who women were more the hunters, you know, going back hundreds of thousands of years, because we had that ability to connect with nature and see it and kill it, but then also have such, you know, thankfulness and respecting the whole animal, not just eating it, using all its parts, and being thankful for it. So it's actually a gift, but a gift can be a double-edged sword. It can be a curse too.
Yeah. It can be. So it just, I don't know, it was always weirded me out, and I never told anybody that story. And I had a friend of mine that's kind of, you know, he's really into paranormal stuff, and he said something to me one day, and I was like, you know, I said, I've had this deal, and he was riding with me in the truck, and he said that, and he goes, the weird thing about you, Brian, is I can't figure out who the woman is that's always around you. And I just kind of like looked in the back seat, like, who? He said, I don't know who she is, but she's super protective of you. And I don't know. I mean, it was a weird deal. It kind of made me creep out a little bit. But he started telling me about, he said that he called it the Hunter's Star, is what they called it, or Hunter's Light or something. I can't remember. It's been 3 or 4 or 5 years now. 4 years probably ago when we had that conversation. So
yeah, I've never heard of it. called anything. So this is my first time. So I'll definitely do some more research on it. But you're actually connecting with the energy of the animal.
Yeah.
You're knowing it's coming before it's.
Yeah, that's just not fair. I just need to concentrate on that Bigfoot, and that way I see him when he's coming. But
so you got to use it. You got to use the same gift, so you can't turn it off when you're out there.
It makes sense because when I did have my Bigfoot sighting, 2018, Tim was with me, and I was drawn to an area that we had never been into. So, and I got out of the truck and walked down, and then sure enough, there it was, 70 yards away looking at me. So, and he got to see it too. So, I mean, maybe that wasn't all just by chance. Maybe there was a reasoning why I went down that road, and I had been by that road for a year and never went down it. And as soon as the whole team, everybody left except for Tim and I, we stayed one more night, and I was like, you know what? I've never been down that road. I feel like we need to go check that out. And we went down that road, and boom, there it was. So,
damn it, I just missed that by one day.
You did. You did. You did.
You were connecting with the energy of the animal. So just like you look for prints, there's energy tracks too. And it seems like you have a gift to connect with your, what we call like your animal instincts, which a lot of us have not used because we don't need to. We can go to the grocery store and buy food and things like that. So you have a gift to connect, and you're going to have some pretty remarkable and scary experiences, but I find that there's beauty in all the experiences, so you're kind of like, if you're going to go hunt something like Bigfoot, they should hang with you, Brian.
Which is probably why I found the 20-inch track that everybody missed that day in the woods.
I know.
Exactly. Because most men hunt, right, with their, more of their instincts of like, what they're used to, listening, sensing, feeling, but it becomes like this almost like excitement too, right? Mm-hmm. But when you're going to hunt something or, track something that has been keeping itself so out of the population, right? I've got to tell you that they're working with more than just that, right? They're working with their other psychic abilities, connecting to the environment around them. They have taken care of the garden, which is everywhere they live, everything around them. They take care of the garden because then the garden takes care of them, where humans now take care of the human and they say, oh, I'll take care of the garden later, which is Earth. That's the difference. That's where we flipped. So, when you guys go out there, connect like you're bare naked and afraid.
All right, Shane.
Shane,
next trip, Shane, we're getting naked in the woods.
Oh my God.
And make sure you grow a lot of hair. So
I'm trying to. So.
Maybe you want to leave them and draw on the female Bigfoot,
Yeah, maybe.
Now, the one you've seen, did it seem male or female?
I had a sense that it was male and younger.
Now, yeah. Did it have like reddish, blondish hair?
No, it was very dark hair.
Like almost
dark brown. Black? Very dark brown. Yeah, close to black, but dark brown. And all I saw was head and a little bit of the shoulders, because there was a tree stump that it was behind and it was peeking up. And then it did that 3 or 4 times. Tim got to see it. I saw it. And then the last thing I saw is it kind of went to the side of the stump and was looking at me. And then it kind of slid down the side of a hill and backed away, and I just heard it walking off. So, but we watched it it felt like 2 hours, but honestly, it was probably 2 minutes, because it just seemed like we just stopped breathing for a minute. So,
yeah,
it was crazy. So, yeah. And Tim was, I knew, like I tell everybody when I tell the story, is I had Tim come stand in front of me and he's facing perpendicular to me, looking at it. And I'm trying to get him to not look directly at it, but use a little bit of his peripheral, because I knew it wouldn't move. But he's looking at the stump, and then as soon as it moved, like his whole body like trembled, like his body shook. And I knew, I was like, okay, what I saw was real, and he's seeing it too. And so, then he was like, what was that? And I said, just keep watching, man. I said, it's going to do it again. And 2 or 3 times it moved, and he was just like, I mean, he was just in shock. And we didn't talk about it. Like, we went back to camp, and I refused to talk about it. I said, we're not going to talk about this. Just process what you saw. We'll talk about it tomorrow. And, of course, we had a 4.5-hour drive home the next day. And he kept asking me every few minutes, you know, like, all right, what do we see? What do we see? And I said, I don't know, man. I said, I think it's a raccoon. You know, I was just giving him all kinds of other things it could be. It wasn't no raccoon. You know what it was. I said, nah. By the end of the trip, when we got back to Oklahoma City, I told him, I said, I'm 75% sure. But I was 100%. I didn't want to lead him. And I wanted him to make up his own opinion of it.
Well, we had something. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
We had something come through camp one night about 3:30 or 2:30 in the morning? 3:30.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
And we all, unzipped our tents. And we're kind of looking around because the dog was going crazy. We heard something lift up the grill and close it. It was weird. So while we're all looking around, the perimeter of camp, Tim, out of everyone, he gets hit in the head, in the back of the head where the neck hits, with a rock.
Yeah.
Like a rock was thrown at Tim. And he was
hard.
right by him.
Yeah.
He was like, Tim is,
Yeah,
like the first time he went out with it. So
it was his first trip with us, and he had a little red welt. I mean, it come at him with some heat, it wasn't So
it wasn't a rock that fell out of the tree. It was, it came
was
just
thrown
like
at
that.
him, right at the base of his head. So
wow. Yeah, so it probably wasn't a bear.
no, it was those squirrels with slingshots.
Like a crafty ass bear.
Yeah. That's crazy though. That's cool though.
So,
it's fun.
This whole conversation has made me so anxious. Like I
Really?
literally am sweating to death.
Oh my God!
I'm sweating
too.
Yeah, like I'm sweating, and I honestly I had a little trouble breathing a while ago, so it was messing with me. I had to mute my mic and try to catch my breath. So it's very weird.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's just more like confirmation. Just some crazy things that I've seen and dealt with. So, and it's like to hear it from you is like, okay, I'm not so weird, So
someone's telling us to Zoom or Fab Live call on next Bigfoot outing.
Yeah,
right,
we do go live sometimes on our Bigfoot stuff. So.
Like Adam West used to have the red phone. He'd pick it up and talk to the commissioner before he turned into Batman. We're gonna have a Roxanne phone that we pick up, and we're like, here we
Yeah.
situation
right now.
Yeah, I can do that.
Brian's got a weird vibe, and he's creeping everybody out. So we gotta.
And he's not wearing pants.
Yeah, and he's naked, running through the woods in the dark. So.
And I want to tackle him and try to bring him back to camp, but he's naked.
But just don't, because I'll probably be sweaty. So, Roxanne, Shane, I think was telling me, are you getting ready to do a podcast yourself, or?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. What's it going to be called?
Text at me. Witch Mafia.
Witch Mafia.
Oh,
okay.
Hell yeah!
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it going to be through Facebook, or how are you doing it, or is it like a true Apple podcast?
No, it's going to be a true podcast, linked up with my Bewitched After Dark on YouTube. I have some videos there, and just trying to be more, I guess, out there, in the technology world, and I got a lot of people that I guess want to hear from me. So I'm like, how am I going to do this? I don't know. And people like podcast is the way to go. And now that we have where you can video and do the podcast, you can really link them up to a lot of places. So, I think it's important. One of my main missions is to really get as much knowledge that I have out there, and maybe hopefully help someone. And also put out there that, the stigma of being a witch is, a lot of people think it's if you're black and you're Wiccan, and that's not the truth, it's more about, some people grow up and they want to be a dentist. Okay. Some people are just born knowing, they want to be a dentist or they want to be a firefighter. I was born, knew that I was a witch, and I wanted the whole world to know I was, and, put out there what we do, which is good. Now, like any other, there's good firefighters and there's bad firefighters. There's good witches and there's bad witches, and, I have my days. I have my days.
Roxanne, are there days when you wake up and you look like this? Is that a possibility?
If you ask my husband, he probably would say yes. Yes.
Like, I'm feeling like this kind of witch today.
Can men be a witch?
Yes. Yes. So they're not called. No, that's that whole thing. People trying to put funny names. You're a witch. You're a witch, male or female.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to figure out if
you're
I
might need to be a witcher, like that show. You're a witcher.
I would be a horrible witch.
I might want to be a witch. I might want to run with what I got. So I don't know.
You might already be one.
Support you, Brian, in your witch gaining abilities.
Okay, I appreciate it. That's a true friend right there. So.
Yeah.
I'll carry your cauldron wherever you need me to, man.
All right.
That's
Deal.
Awesome.
Deal. I will hold you to
No, but if he's carrying your cauldron, it's got a beer in it or something.
Probably.
Oh, man.
Moonshine.
It's red apple, whatever.
Yeah, my cauldron is full of ice.
Yes.
With cans of Keystone Light in it.
Yep.
I have way better taste than Keystone Light. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. That's funny.
That's just messed up.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to do something.
Yeah.
Something out there, but it seems like podcasts are, everyone likes them. A lot of people like to listen to them, and if not, some people now can view them. So it's the future, and I guess this witch has got to get on a broomstick and get into the future, even though I feel nice tour.
Yeah, Shane and I decided to do a video because we both have a face for radio, and so as a joke, we decided let's go ahead and put our ugly mugs on and just make people look at us for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever we can do. So that was our tactic.
I love that.
And really, we started this show you see how it is. It's not a very formal format. I mean, we drink during our show. We're all over the place. Shane and I don't write.
We talk,
We don't write any notes. There's not a notebook in front of me with a bunch of questions or anything like that. We just kind of go on and wing it. And we both have the gift of gab. And so we could talk for hours about absolutely nothing. So.
Oh my God, yes we can.
Oh, me and my girls too at the shop, my close knit circle. We call them my Bewitches. I mean, a lot of the videos I've put up are just ridiculous. Like us in our hotel room at the Hawthorne running around in white nightgowns from the 1800s. Channeling spirit, whatever.
When your friends come over, when your friends come over and they come to the door, do you go, "What's up, my witches?"
Yes, actually, our sign is so that's where Witch Mafia comes from. Besides other things, but might have done some readings for some mafia people, but Witch Mafia is it's a mafia. You're in the inner circle. What happens in the circle stays in the circle. You
can never leave.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But no, we have a symbol called Witch Mafia. So we have it's ready. I'm gonna give you a Shane symbol.
I thought she was getting ready to flip us off. I was like, whoa, Shane.
Witch Mafia.
Oh.
Witch Mafia.
Man, the Witch Mafia gals are y'all are gangsters.
Yeah.
So,
no, we even have wooden spoons with it. We get out of line, we got wooden spoons with the symbol on it and sell them.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah, we're a real deal mafia.
We're not doing it right. We are just we're slacking, man. We need some.
You guys need something. We always go. Everything's hashtag Witch Mafia. I'm making like business cards that are black and white, which is WM. So anytime we go anywhere, we'll like if they're like thought they were really cool, or whatever, we'll just leave the card like WM. People have to look it up.
Oh, very mysterious.
Oh, I want some of those cards. I want some of those cards.
You guys need to make one with just like the big footprint on it, No,
I want the Witch Mafia one. Like I say, you mess with me.
Send you some.
I'm not only gonna throw down the mafia. I'm gonna throw down the witch.
Yeah. You gotta get the deal.
Not just,
there you
get it.
Yeah,
there you go.
I already got it down.
It's already in. First mail in the group. Dean did it too. Okay, you're inducted. You're finally in the Witch Mafia.
We're honorary Witch Mafia.
Enter the circle. There's only one way out of the circle. No kidding.
Is that death?
They're gonna jump us, dude.
A really potent tea.
I'm always up for new things.
So. We like to even here we sometimes will just start singing songs, and I'm really good at like playing on words with songs, and we'll do some random stuff where we're talking about something that's going on, and then I'll just start rapping it.
Oh man,
we have fun. That's what people have to understand. Like we have fun too. That's Bewitched After Dark.
That's us. Actually,
you want to know something that's really cool? I went on this investigation actually with the guy that I end up messaging from Connecticut Ghost Hunters. I think that's the feed or whatever you had put it in. The guy that runs that, he invited me up to this historical home. From the 1600s, George Washington, rode through there and all this stuff. Make a long story short, we're going through, and everyone always thinks paranormal. We talk to, and we have video of it, so you can actually hear me communicating with them, and then us picking it up on recorders, their actual voices responding to me as I'm responding and telling everyone what they're saying. You hear them, seconds later responding. So, but I found a map. So Spirit was like, they were sending me on the signal, like the map's like in the wall. There's a map in the wall. So I'm looking like in the walls in different areas, right? We go upstairs. I'm like, there's a map on this wall. Now we're in the dark because, of course, it's a paranormal investigation. So everyone likes to be in the dark, and, and we're trying to, they have the cameras so you can see in the dark. And I start looking, I start feeling on the wall, and I'm like, there's a map. Someone give me a light. Someone give me a real light, And we look, they etched a map on the wall of what was happening during the Revolutionary War. Wow. Now this is a historical home that they have tours going through, whatever. They've never noticed it before.
That's crazy.
So it was, a Revolutionary person from, I forget what his name was, that was in that house, but they were running, hiding, I'm trying to think, not redcoats. They were our men, what we would say there. But redcoats would go in and, like they do, come in. If you go to feed them, you fed them. But they were hiding. Yeah, they were doing like, and then I would hear like conversation from like the room where they were like planning things.
Wow.
Yeah. And on the map, and I'm like, there's a house here and here. And they're like, oh yeah, that's the house down that way. And it showed the big ship coming in, and it was pretty cool. They were like, this is amazing. I'm like, this is the best investigation I've ever been, because I'm a history, like I love history.
Oh yeah.
And obviously because I deal with people that lived in this, history. Yeah. But that was pretty cool to actually get a piece of our history found on a wall that no one knew was there. So
that was a double crazy for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was cool.
Wow.
So, there's some fun stuff besides, clients calling me, telling me their husband's clothes are coming off at night and all this other stuff I got to go for. No, Spirit, like they do
okay.
Yeah.
Like he wakes up and he's like, no clothes.
And yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, the wife lost a few things, and they just don't believe in this stuff. It's, he was telling her she was crazy and hearing footsteps and yep. So just like, Brian, when you said, this thing threw, a cup across the room, like people don't realize it until it starts happening to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But actually my deal, it was a glass baking dish. And I'm thinking you can see my hands. I'm like way out here.
Yeah.
It was like one of those 13x9 baking dishes that had like some kind of pasta in it. Oh, there you go. I think it's now, yeah. And it went from the top of the stove across the kitchen into the dining room and hit the wall. So we're talking about a span of about 18, 19, 20 feet. And my now ex-wife, the kid's mom, we were sitting there and I, of course, being the jerk that I am, I kind of just looked at her and said, well, the ghost doesn't even like your cooking,
Oh.
And I think that might have been the last time she ever cooked for me. So that was 2008, wow. I think, if I remember right. So yeah.
Wow.
But no, I mean, the kids thought it was funny. They got a good laugh out of it, and she knew I was joking. But I was just trying to make light of a odd situation because it startled all of us. I mean, this thing just goes shooting across the room, and you got two young kids. Like you have to immediately make that into a joke. If not, you could put a little bit of fear in them. Yeah. So
everybody's sleeping in your bed that night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't need that. So.
One time I was getting ready I do group events too, where there'll be like, 8, 10 women, whatever, men come together, and I'll just channel openly in a circle. And I was getting ready one night for an event, and I was doing makeup, and I just started not feeling good. I felt like I was getting a massive migraine. I was like, all right, I'm going to have to cancel this event. These girls are probably on the way to my store, but I just can't get over this headache. One of the beautiful gifts that I have is that when I channel someone, I can feel how they died, and it just sits there for a minute and then it goes away. This wasn't going away. So that's why I thought it was me. And I was like starting to get all crazy. And then I see this boy in the mirror behind me saying, my mom, I need to talk to my mom. And I said, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, honey. I said, because I can't even think right now. Like, I'm seeing you, but I feel like I'm like being suffocated. And he just said, no, you can't. Like, I have to see my mom. And so I'm telling my husband, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I just need to, give me some aspirin, even though I know it's this boy. He must have died something with his, couldn't breathe. And so I'm getting aspirin. He's like, I don't know. Should you just cancel? And I'm like, I don't know, because I don't want this boy hanging in my house all day. He's like adamant that I got to go. Well, he leaves the bathroom, and my doorbell rings. Now it's raining outside. And my husband goes, who the hell is here? It's freaking pouring raining out. And it's like, nighttime. It's like 6 o'clock. It was nighttime at that time. Dark out. Goes to the door, opens the door. No one's there. And then the little boy, not the little boy, but teenage boy popped up, and he's like, we got to go. You're late. You got to go. And I'm like, I know, but can you back up? Because I think I can't breathe because of you, how you died. He committed suicide. He showed me him hanging himself. Oh, so I said, okay, we just need to back up because I can't do what I need to do. Like, I'll go, right? My husband goes, I said, it's a boy. He wants me to go. He wants to talk to his mom. I got to go. He's the one that rang the doorbell. Okay. He goes, no. My husband's like, no freaking way. Blah, 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 blah. I go, okay. So I said, ask the boy to ring the doorbell again if you don't believe me, right? He goes, all right. If you're here, ring the doorbell. It rings right on cue, right?
Oh, wow.
He's like, right? He runs and gets my son's like 16 at the time. He's 18 now. He runs. Michael, get up here right now. Mom says there's a ghost here. Ring the doorbell. But I think it's kids playing Ding Dong Ditch. Now, we're out in the woods. It's not playing Ding Dong Ditch over here, okay? In the rain, in the pouring, mud-slicking rain, okay?
Yeah.
Michael goes, ring the doorbell again. The kid rings it again. Now, I have 2 different doorbells because my house was like made 1950, and it was like, a house that they featured. Oh, do you want this doorbell ring or do you want this doorbell ring? Whatever. So the front door rings, And then he goes, all right, well, ring the other. Now, my son knows they make two different noises. And me and my husband never knew this. And he goes, no, they make two different noises. I'm going to tell him to ring the other doorbell. So he tells him to ring the other doorbell. My husband's running all over the house like he saw a ghost. Whipping out. He's like, don't bring this shit in. Don't bring it home. Like, whip it out, right? I'm like, honey, it's here all the time. You don't wake up. You're snoring. You don't wake up when I wake up and there's someone at the end of my bed telling me, like, you know, or not saying anything. And I just know, like, I'll be seeing them sometime during the week or something, right?
Wow.
He's like, go to your thing. Get the heck out of here. So he goes, I'm going to say it one more time. Ring the doorbell. Just ring it right now. This is you. And this is this is you. Ring it again. I says, poor boy, how many times you got to ring the bell? Ding, 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 ding. He runs out. Wow. He thinks the doorbell thing is like jammed. It's not jammed. It's never done it again since. He's like, I'm done. Get the hell out of here. Don't be bringing anything home. Go get this boy out of here.
Wow. That's crazy.
I get pure pleasure in that stuff. Oh, it's hysterical. I just love it. Because he's for him being with me, he only believes me, but he doesn't believe anything else in the world. And I'm like, how, you know, maybe because he's a firefighter, so he sees a lot of death and stuff. So he's got to have this kind of like block. But yeah, he's a big scaredy cat. So, honey, if you're watching this at some point, you are a scaredy boy.
Oh, I don't blame him, man. I mean, the doorbell's ringing on demand. You know, that's.
Then he's like, and I'm married to a witch. Like, who wants to be married to a witch? You know?
He knew that going in, though, didn't he?
A witch. Now we got all these ghosts in the house. You know, I can only take so much. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know what they say, for better, for worse, right? So
yeah,
he's locked in. It's just like the Butch Mafia. There is no leaving.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. He's
if
in for life.
Leave, if you
Yep. No leaving. Yep.
Crazy. Nope.
That's awesome.
Oh boy.
Well, looks like we ran out of questions. We had two of our England people. Looks like it's 2 a.m. there, so they both signed out. So I don't blame them. So.
Oh God, too. It's the witching hour.
It is the witching hour. See.
They need to wake up. There could be something going on there. So. I don't know. I probably wouldn't wait up to 2 a.m. to see us either, Shane. So. Probably.
Oh, I don't know. It just depends on. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't either. Well, is there anything? You got anything else, Roxanne, you want to talk about, or you need help? You need help bringing your podcast to life. Can always help with that.
Yeah, that would be awesome. You know, definitely this. The one you're on now, I know we talked about that, so that's going to be good to kind of get that up and get that going, and maybe have you guys on my podcast. It'd be cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
Talking about your Bigfoots and being all, you know, psychic out there and luring them in with your little psychic energy.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a promise to myself. I'm gonna start focusing on that a little bit more.
All right.
And see where that leads. For years, I tried to block that out just because of things that happened when I was a kid. And then the stuff at the old house there, you know, it just got to be so much. I try to tell my daughter, if you ignore it, you won't see it. But when you recognize it, you'll see more of it. You know, it's the best thing that's the best way I could describe it to her. You know, I said, as soon as you start seeing this thing pixelating in your camera, and as soon as you start hearing it, I said, the more you focus and give it attention, the more you're gonna see more things happen to you, because that's how it happened for me. And of course, you know, she's just running with it because she's not afraid, and which is awesome, because I was probably crying at that age when I had stuff happen to me. But I think I'm gonna reopen that chapter in my life and see what happens. So
all right.
Yeah. You know, I'm here. I can, like I said, that's, you know, what I love to do is I love to help people and guide them. And like I said, you know, did you hear that? Is that? Scared the heck out of me, Michael! My son scared the hell out of me.
I thought a ghost that got you live on our show. Man, the ratings would have been awesome. Man. Whew.
Oh, my God. See,
I'm
I told
over
you
here.
the mediums get scared.
See, my heart racing.
Come here,
Michael.
Michael.
Michael. My goodness. I'm nervous for
Michael.
you. Like I'm all.
Oh, my God. Michael. Come here. Hurry up. Where is he? Is he over there? Yeah, he's the one. He'll tell you about the doorbell thing. He literally just scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, he scared me.
I
thought we were going to win.
Jump too?
Yeah, I jumped. I thought we was getting ready to see you die or something. I didn't know what was going on.
God.
I was like, I thought like a ghost was coming at you and going to kill you, and I was just like, I can't help her. It's like something I just disconnect.
I have my friend Colleen here, who's like Witch Mafia, one of the main girls, and you can't see her because she's sitting at the table with me, and she looks at me, and I'm here, and I'm like, oh my God, now. Hindsight, I had a stalker this past 2 weeks, so I'm a little on edge.
Oh wow!
Like a real human stalker.
Oh, great.
Hey, I had one of those.
And so I'm petrified because the back door one time, like he came in, he was being really weird, and he like pushed me in the bathroom and shut the door, and he was like ticking. Now, remember we talked about like the tall hat guy? Mm-hmm. He had something like that fraction in and out of him. Now, I can't do anything for him because this thing is fractioning in and out of him. Mm. And I have my son upstairs, and I have one of my best friends, Colleen, here. And so I'm like, I have my friggin' sword is in my friggin' room. I'm in the bathroom looking for something to bash this guy over the head if I need to. I got nothing but a toilet paper roll. Like I got nothing. Right, Michael? Yeah. Don't scare your mother like that, running through it like that.
Kids.
No. Like who runs around like that? Like he's Bigfoot. But we finally get the guy out, and he's telling us, oh, I'm going to go to the store and buy a gun. And my family didn't show up for Christmas. And everyone, he's ticking, and he was trying to start an argument with me, like, I want to buy this perfume bottle. I'm like, it's not for sale. He's like, everything's for sale. Turn around. Like, you don't need, like he was fractioning out from being himself and being something else. So I knew, his mind was not right. And I'm trying to figure out, because I'm like, does he have a disability? Because I don't, I don't judge people. You know what I mean? Like, I try to understand them and know where I can help them. If I can help them, I can. If I can't, I send them along. But I had to get this guy out of here. So he finally goes to leave. We lock the front door. We freaking forget to lock the back door. I'm like, oh my God, Colleen, that guy was I said, I've never been scared in my life. Like, I've never been scared. Like, I usually can, besides what you guys just saw, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Freaking out. But I'm saying when you're faced with something, I've never been scared. Like, there was a pit in my stomach. Like, this guy is going to hurt someone, and I'm trying, and I kept hearing spirit say, just be compassionate. Like, don't do anything crazy, don't have just breathe and whatever. He said, okay, no, don't give him anything because he was looking for a fight. He was looking to do something. And he's like, yeah, I'm a 50-year-old man that wants to buy perfume bottles. I said, there's nothing wrong with that. You can buy my perfume bottles that are for sale. So he's like, all right, can I have all 5 of these, $25? I said, yep, sure. He turns, doesn't look at me when he hands me the money. Then I can't find tissue paper. I run out of tissue paper. And in my head, I'm like, what the frig? Where could I have any kind of tissue paper? I can't go upstairs. I can't leave her alone. Like, what am I going to do? This guy's asking for tissue paper. Like, I don't want to tick him off because he's like a time bomb. Thank God, psychically, I remember I shoved some in a drawer in my kitchen. So I grabbed it. Thank God. Like, wow. Who shoves tissue paper in a random drawer that day? But I did. And so I wrap it up. He leaves. He comes back in. As I'm like, Colleen, oh my God. And he just literally, like what my son just did, and I literally almost went through the roof. He comes back in and he's like, can I buy that butterfly chair out there? I said, no, it's not for sale. NFS, dude. NFS, And he's like, well, I just need it. I feel drawn to it. Now he was drawn to the butterfly perfume bottle in my reading room the door wasn't even supposed to be open. And I'm like, unfortunately, that's my daughter's. I can't sell it. It's hers. He goes, well, what if it's not there anymore? I go, well, then if it's not there anymore, it's not there anymore. Like, what am I going to do? Right. And he's like, oh, you made my day like miserable. Isn't that what he said? Oh, I'm on a shit list. That's what he said. He goes, you're on my shit list today. I was going to buy a gun. Okay. Cool. I got nothing. I got toilet paper roll. Like 2020, I got a toilet paper roll to throw at him. I have nothing to defend myself, right?
Well, next time you just put that guy in a box and send him down south so he can get a good old Texas ass whooping.
No, exactly. Right? So one of the other witches, Peggy, she brings me in a Louisville Slugger and puts a black marker, your face here, and she puts it in the bath. So now it's in the bathroom. So now when clients come, they see Louisville Slugger in the bathroom.
I bet your husband was real happy about that.
Yeah. He bought me mace. I go, okay, fine, I got mace. What am I gonna have it like a fanny pack on me 24/7? Like just chilling like a rabbit's foot? Like just let it chill like a rabbit's foot? Like
you get you a little holster so you can.
No, I'm going to the thing and I'm learning to shoot a gun. Like I'm done. Like that freaked me the frig out, right?
Yeah.
Not that I want to kill anybody, but like, a little metal probably will, then a little peak mace thing goes tick,
you never
tick.
know. That could have been a very bad scenario.
Yeah. You might. That
happened like 2 weeks ago, and I'm still like on like alert now. I like lock my doors when I'm here. I'm like, black truck tried coming. I'm like, I got like PTSD from it.
Well, I think anybody in the mafia needs to have a gun.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want like one of those little pistols, like the little tiny ones,
Little Derringers. Yeah.
Yeah.
You also need to be
throw some sparkles on it. They're gonna see it, like my glasses are gonna see it sparkling when it's coming to them.
Bejeweled. I got killed by a bejeweled pistol. So
yeah, by a bejeweled pistol by Bewitched.
And then he'll show up, and he'll show up in the afterlife, and you can tell him.
Ooh, he might even be scared in the afterlife.
Yeah. So.
I'd be like, "Oh man, sorry."
Yeah, that's what
shouldn't have bothered me.
Yeah.
Freaking weird people.
Yeah. So now I'm all like, on alert. So
yeah, I don't know.
Weird.
That's spooky. So.
It's not the dead that scares me. It's like the living. Like,
hey, I say that all the time. We go out in the woods, and people say, "Aren't you scared walking around the woods at night looking for a monster?" Blah 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 blah. And I said, it's not this monster that scares me. It's the people that I run into that scare me more than anything. So
yeah, it's a freaking crazy world we live in, and especially now with everything, which is just
naked Shannon Woods takes breath away.
And that is the show summed up.
That ought to be the title. We ought to relabel everything. So
that's good.
That's funny.
Hey, Sydney, I will go on the record. Shane takes my breath away all the time. So they think they're going to get us with that. They're not going to stir us with that, are they, Shane?
With us?
Yeah, we will run with that. We're not worried about it.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
I know. It's a crazy world. Oh, he was talking about that's scary. That's scary.
Yeah, that was scary. So.
Yeah, it's just, I've never, I'm always, and believe me, I've helped some really interesting people that most people would be like, there's the door that you just came in from, but, how am I going to be a spiritual teacher and, a person who's saying, she loves all living things if I'm judging them right off the bat, So this one I was just like, all right, he's had a rough day, but I just felt this pit in my stomach, like, Roxanne, there's something deeper that you're not going to be able to help him with. But when I seen that entity fraction in and out of him, I said literally, I was like, not today, Sam. Not today. Yeah. So, but he ended up, leaving. So, and that's the scary part. It wasn't just the human part. There was something else, like in and out of his face that, I can't just say to him, hey, buddy, cut a clinger. Can you just, hang there for a minute. We're going to do something, but you just couldn't because he was so gone. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Just couldn't do it.
Freaking crazy.
I don't know. I felt like at that moment I was telling the girls after, I'm like, I need to have like Ghostbusters, when they had the little thing, they shoot the, like the ghost, whatever. Yeah. Like I need some kind of like potion I make up when I do my thing and like just like shoot it out. Like, maybe that's my mace. Maybe it's my mace. Like, cause like maybe if I could get that thing, away from him, he would have like woken up a little bit,
Yeah, well, I could always send my wife and
like whack-a-mole.
Yeah, we can send our women up there. They're
Jennifer and Renee can go up there and holy Jesus, that guy won't ever break into your house again.
Yeah, they're
anytime.
I didn't know people could yell skin off my face.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
He knows. He's like, listen, I didn't drink a beer tonight. I only drank Coca-Cola.
I think I just heard my pillow and blanket hit the couch.
Yeah, you probably did.
That's funny.
Oh my God, I know. We're just a couple of nuts.
Yeah.
No, you guys are a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you.
I like to get on and like talk about real stuff and do stuff and then laugh,
Yeah.
Because you have to laugh at this world. It's crazy.
Yeah, I learned an old saying from a old guy that I met years ago, and he told me sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying. And I think that is such a true statement, especially, as of late, So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with everyone just, picking which side. If you like this side, then you don't like that side, and you're not my friend no more. It's been 50 years and we're not friends because you like Trump or you don't like Biden or it's like, when did our friendship like? Would it matter how I vote for you to be my friend?
I always thought you wanted to be friends with people with different ideas and beliefs. It makes your pool of friends for advice greater. If you're friends with the same type of mindset of people, you're going to get the same advice every time you run into a situation. Where if you got a guy who say you're straight-laced right-wing Republican, you go to church 5 days a week, and you run a situation, maybe you need to ask a guy that might be a little on the left, a little more liberal, and kind of get his perspective on it. So I don't know why people don't want to be friends with each other just because they feel a certain way. I mean, I don't know. I see it on Facebook, especially after the election. Oh, I got to unfriend all you Democrats or whatever. And I'm just like, how do you know who's a Democrat and who's not? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, the sticker said I voted. It didn't say I voted for Biden or I voted for Trump. But I mean, I don't know. I would never unfriend somebody because of their political views. That's
crazy.
Seems so odd.
I don't know about you guys, but I think Bernie definitely won the election.
Oh yeah.
Bernie's everywhere. All over the internet. Like nobody cares who's the president right now. It's all about Bernie and where Bernie's going. He was in front of my store. He was in Star Wars. Like he's all over the place.
He's everywhere.
Oh my God, he's everywhere.
Yeah, he's out looking for Bigfoot now. He's caught on trail cameras. I mean, oh, poor old Bernie. So
I know. Hey, but you know what? We needed something.
Yeah,
it's us saying like we don't care anymore. We just care where Bernie's going.
Yeah, where's Bernie gonna sit next?
I know.
The new "Where's Waldo? Where's Bernie?"
Like, I want to know. Like, I want to interview him and be like, "So, what do you think about this?"
Oh my God, he probably don't even know what's going on right
now. Man, could you imagine if Bernie came on our show, Shane? We would talk for like 6 days. Like we would never stop. God. Like between
if I knew he was coming on, I would make up a whole bunch of those Bernie sitting pose things, like
and just continuously show
3 minutes. Yeah, I would just pop one on and go, "What about this one? What about this
one?" No, the first question should be, who knitted those mittens? Those mittens made him famous. It was just some magical mittens.
Yeah.
If he was running for president during that time,
I don't care about anybody and anything, but I'm warm and I got my mittens.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh,
too funny.
That's so funny. That's crazy.
Absolutely crazy.
Well, we're at the 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Good. Time flies.
It does.
We never have a schedule, Roxanne. We talk about it. Shane and I talk and say, well, let's shoot for 30 minutes. Maybe we'll squeeze an hour.
Like just warming up.
Yeah, maybe we'll squeeze an hour, but it seems like 2 hour is the running trend as of late. So
that's right.
Because we just don't ever shut up. That's
all right. Most of my videos I do are like an hour, 2 hours, because it's just, we get a lot of people asking questions, and they say you should make it like less, but
yeah, that's what everybody tells us too. You got to be less than an hour, is what people told me. And I'm like, really? Man, I got so much to say. I don't know if I could say it in less than an hour.
Then we got to do this all
No,
over.
you're gonna do like take two, so like take one, and then save it, and then go back and go with part 2, but it's all on the same night.
Exactly. Start doing mini-series.
Mini-series, yeah. If they want to watch the second series, and they click on it.
And that's how we keep people engaged, and we trap them. And then we start getting the beer ads, and we start making money, because that's what that's what we do, right, Shane? We make money off this.
Man, my TV show money is so crazy.
Yeah. The budget. I mean, this green screen back here is not cheap, folks. I think I paid $8 for it. And here's how cheap I am, Roxanne. I looked up green screens on Amazon, and they were like 45, $50, right? And I decided I was at Walmart, and I was walking through Walmart. Do you guys have Walmart up that way?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I know that's true. And so I was over in the where all the knitting stuff and all that stuff is, and I saw green fabric, and I thought, well, why wouldn't that work for a green screen? So I had the lady cut me off a piece, and it was like $6, and I stuck it to the wall, and here I am. I got this. Can you make my picture bigger, Shane? Let's see.
Yeah, man. Of course.
I mean, these are the beautiful mountains of southeast Oklahoma where I saw my Bigfoot.
Aww.
And it's less than $7. And so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Walmart and buy a bunch of this, and I'm going to package it up and sell it as green screens for $49.99. And I'm going to start making some money. So I mean, why not?
You sound like my friend Colleen that's here. She's laughing in the background because she would do the same thing. Are you a Capricorn?
I'm not. I'm a Virgo. I'm a Virgo, actually. Okay. So.
Oh, same thing.
Okay. But I like making money, so I don't know if that means anything. Yes.
But making money, but not spending it stupidly.
Ding, ding, ding. Yes.
Smart.
Yeah, I have
especially when you got kids. They're the ones always taking the green out of your pocket.
Yeah.
I have spent some money, so. But like Shane says, we just have endless cash flow from this thing.
Oh my God, I can't spend it fast enough.
What did Randy say? I missed what Randy said about you. That's because you guys fly impromptu. You need flashcards. We do need some flashcards. Buy Tesla stock. Here's a funny thing, and I know we're running over, but just the stock deal. I've never been a stock guy, but I like to watch stocks and like pretend like I'm going to make a bunch of money. And so some guys at work told me about this site, and they said, hey, you ought to sign up and you can buy and sell stocks online, but you could use a mobile app. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it. And I put $20 in. And I figured, we got Oklahoma is the land of casinos. I don't know if you know this or not, but we have more slot machines in Oklahoma than any other city in the world. Okay. And
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's insane. So
and now there's dispensaries next to them.
And we have dispensaries. So we get high and we gamble, and it's you would think this would be the happiest place on the planet.
Where's that lobster buffet?
Exactly. For $4.99. And Except for it's not lobster, it's chicken fried steak, because that's what we eat down here. And so anyways, I get on there, I put this $20 in. A week later, I'm up to $46. And I'm thinking, man, if I would have just put $100 grand in, I'd be rich. So I need you guys to donate some money so I can put some money. Because obviously I got a thing for this now. And
go fund me for Brian.
And I'm going to check it right now with you guys live because I haven't looked at it. I want to see if I lost any money today. Okay, there it is. You can see how much I'm up to.
Yep.
I'm up to $70.15. So
dang, lunch on Brian tomorrow.
I am setting the world on fire. Turns out I need to go and be a day trader. I have a gift for this, I guess. I don't know. So
you have a knack for it. My husband's on that. He gets all excited too. Like he put $100 in, and then he got up to $800, and he's trading. He's like, "Look at this, babe. This is going to be our investment." I go, "How much you got in there?" He goes, $2,000 up. He's like, "Yeah, but I traded all that and got." I said, "Babe, that's fantastic. $2,000, huh?" He gets so excited because, you know, if I take him to the casino, I have to pull him out of the casino. He will sell our house on the table. So I'm like, "No, babe, this is really good. This is really good that you have this trading thing. Get your little bug out. You know, don't have to worry. I don't have to hit you over the head and give you, you know."
Yeah. It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. There we go.
Randy's
there you go.
Randy's man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tesla. Actually, thinking of Tesla, he is one of my favorite people of all time. Do a lot of research on him. Tesla.
Yep, Tesla stock is insane as of late.
Yeah.
I will tell you, over the last month, it's had a 28 or 29% growth. That's my stock tip of the day, and brought to you by Randy Harrington. So
we covered all kinds of shit on this show.
We did. We talked Bigfoot. We talked ghosts. We talked stalkers. We talked firearms. We talked stocks.
I mean, I literally got scared on the show. Like, I want to go back and see you guys' reaction to me getting scared.
I thought you were dead.
I'll have to watch that.
I thought you were dead. I jumped. I was like, "Oh my God, we're about to have our first death on the show."
I was like, "What? What does she see?"
Literally, I remember feeling my body like jump out of the chair.
I thought somebody was actually attacking you.
I thought I was, and the only thing I had was my glass of wine for protection. Again,
you got that. You got that stick behind you right there. Just whack somebody with that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I was so scared though. I don't even know if I could have grabbed something.
Don't mess with Roxanne. She'll throw a glass of wine or a toilet paper roll or thing.
Yeah, or toilet paper roll. Like, come on.
Mercy.
I need to be better equipped. I need to I'm gonna have to get where all the girls I come in and they start scaring me and stuff, so I get used to it. So I get Kung Fu Ninja style.
There you go. Oh, that's awesome.
Things that scare people don't scare me, but real life footsteps running through my house is gonna scare the shit out of me.
Well, given your experience as of late, I probably would have jumped too. So nothing wrong with that. So
sorry, Randy, you missed
hysterical.
Randy, I'm sorry you missed the Bigfoot thing. He's like, I missed the Bigfoot chatter. My favorite. It's okay, man.
Aw.
It's all right, dude.
If you start drinking, if spirits can't start drinking 30 minutes before the Wall Street opens up. There's our clever play of words. So,
man,
Randy, where was you an hour and a half ago, Randy?
I know. Where was
you for all these great comments? So
yeah,
I know. It's you got them in the beginning, and then you got some at the end.
Oh, and as a side note, Shane, I need to show you something. I need to send you a picture. It just reminded me of it. So.
Oh, okay.
And you know how my mind works. Once it hits me, I got to tell you right away. So, or I'll forget. Because
I understand.
My head don't ever stop. So
I know, dude.
Well, that's the psychic thing too, because you channel so much that you have to.
Is that true? Like, do you have that problem where it just goes and goes and goes? And my goodness,
Colin, how many times a day do I call you? How many? A couple.
Man.
I'm like, oh my God, this just happened.
Yeah, my head just never stops. Like, it's just a million things going through it. Just rapid fire.
Yep, rapid fire. Something else is coming in, so you just gotta I'm not gonna remember this, so I'm telling you now because I'm gonna forget about it because something else is coming in.
Exactly. That's why I had to say something about the picture. I was like, because Shane will remember, and he'll ask me tomorrow, hey, what was that picture you were gonna tell me?
What's up with that picture, man? What picture?
Yeah, and I'll be like, yeah, that's exactly what I'll say. What are you talking about?
That picture, man.
Yeah. So I'm gonna open that channel up though. So that's my goal. So
I'm here for pure psychic support.
And I may call you. I may want a reading. I've always wanted a reading, and I've never had one.
I'd love to give you one.
Yeah. So cool. I may get in contact with you on that. So.
Okay.
I've always been too afraid because I'm afraid I'm going to hear something that might spook me out.
She's like, your beard is going to grow bigger.
It ain't going to grow. It used to be like 10 inches long. And was hanging way down. Yeah, and then I shaved it off one day in a moment of craziness, let's just say. So.
Well, like I said, you might need it to become one with the Bigfoot.
Maybe. You might be right. So.
Yeah. Never know, man.
Never know.
Never know.
Next time we're out in the woods, we might just channel into Roxanne.
Yeah.
On the phone.
Definitely.
Guide us to.
What's going on over there? There's a what? You found some tracks? Hang on, let me call Roxanne. Which pictures?
The pictures I said I need to send you.
Oh. So now Randy's reminding me to remind you.
Exactly.
Hey, see? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's teamwork.
A community. That is teamwork.
That's teamwork right there. So.
Absolutely. We need as much help as we can get.
No, Randy, I definitely want to check out those pictures, man, for sure, dude.
Yeah, I'll get them to him. So. Well, Roxanne, we appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us and sharing all your wisdom and stories with us and your near-death experience right there live on our show. So that was so awesome.
Hey, you're welcome back anytime too, Roxanne.
Yeah, anytime.
Yeah, let me know. I love just to chat and stuff. And like I said, I'm going to get mine going, and it's almost done. I have a lot going out on my website where people certain times of day can log on and see what these witch mafia girls are doing during the day at the shop, and just some fun, cool stuff. So hopefully I'm not getting scared on film, seeing all this craziness. But I think it's kind of cool to let people kind of in a little bit, and life is about having fun, enjoying the ride, and having some great experiences. So it was cool, definitely, to chat with you guys. I'm sure it's not going to be the first, and I mean, it is the first, but it's not going to be the last.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So,
I'm definitely going to hit you up on the reading deal. Now I have to. So
I got to send Roxanne some dirt.
Yeah, you send her some dirt.
And the dirt. Hey, maybe I'll get the dirt, and maybe I can come on the show and
that'd
do it live or something.
Oh my God, that would be cool.
That'd be great.
We're doing that. We're doing that.
And then I can just be like, I see it in a black bag traveling through the airport. No, I'm kidding.
All right, that'll work.
Just kidding. No, I was trying to do Mrs. Cleo. What was that her name?
Cleo. It's Cleo.
I can make fun of people.
Yeah, of course you can.
You got to.
Yeah, that's.
I make fun of other Bigfoot people.
Texas. They came from Texas.
Oh yeah. They came from Texas.
From a guy's house that his name starts with S. So
there's
that'd be funny.
Oh my God. There's Bermuda grass in here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Is it from Oklahoma? It's gonna be a backyard. Trying to trick me.
Dang.
Call you out on it, Shane. You lie.
I'm getting buried live right here, dude. I'm just getting buried.
This isn't dirt. This is
dirt.
It's a litter box. So
it's a litter box.
Randy said Miss Cleo's best $4.99 a minute. You can
I will argue that one with you, Randy.
Oh my God. Hilarious.
All right. Once again, we appreciate you coming on though, all seriousness. So
thank you.
It's been fun. So
all right, awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Until next time.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Mafia.
Oh, Witch Mafia. Oh, hang on,
Everyone do it, ready? Witch
Mafia.
Witch Mafia.
There you go. All right, we're honorary members. So
all right, yes you are. You've been inducted.
Oh, cool.
Sweet. All right, I'll be expecting my leather jacket in the mail.
We can never leave.
Yes, members only.
All right, that's
Once
it.
you
That's
in,
it.
Go out.
Yes.
A members only jacket. I love it. All right.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right. See you.
Bye, Roxanne.
That was fun.
Good. Yeah, that was good, man.
Yeah. We went a little over 2 hours. We're still going a little bit, but yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I had a good time. So
yeah, man. All right.
Now I gotta focus on my psychic stuff and see if I'm going to go crazy over it or not. So
yeah, it's all good, man.
I
believe in you, Brian. I believe in you.
I opened up that Pandora's box, and I'm probably going to regret it. But next thing you know, stuff's going to start happening, like black molasses falling out of the ceiling again. When I was 16. Oh man, I have some crazy stories, man.
I know, dude.
Crazy stuff.
I know you do, man.
You would think that like I was smoking crack or something. I got some crazy stories. I don't know, but man. I it's just so many. I need a whole show just to do that.
Brian's crack smoking.
Yeah, and the things you saw. Yeah, exactly. Because if I tell you all these stories, you'll think I was smoking crack. You know what I mean? Because, but obviously, I'm a thicker guy. I don't smoke crack. You know what I mean? So
yeah, hey, you have all your teeth. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, and I'm overweight, and and I have a beard, and I think a crack pipe would probably ignite that.
Oh, you'd have like some kind of, I don't know, man.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
Smoky, crystally. I don't know, man. Whatever.
Yeah, that's just white. I'm just old.
Yeah, me too.
So, man, isn't it crazy?
Wisdom.
If it is, I got to be the smartest man on the planet. Because look at all that. Look at all that, man.
You are a fucking genius.
You think so? I mean, yes. I may have to shave the beard. Renee wants me to grow it out again, but man, it's just so white. And
damn it, Renee. Trying to make Brian show his age.
I know. And then a guy at work told me today to color it. I ain't coloring my. No, man. No, I can't color mine. It's bad enough. Look at all that white on the tip and the sides there. Look at those. Man.
That's because you frosted your tips.
I didn't frost anything. Only thing frosted I got, buddy, is frosted flakes.
Frosted flakes in my Cobra.
Yeah. That's some Tony the Tiger. I ain't frosting nothing. So my hair don't match right. I can't color because I grew up with the blondish brown, as my mom used to say, the dirty dishwater blonde hair. But then my beard was just red as can be. And then like my chest hair is black. Like I don't know what's going on here. Like I'm just mixed up. So like if I was to color my hair, what color do I choose? You know what I mean? Do I go red? Do I go dishwater blonde? Do I go brown?
I don't know.
Too confusing. So just shave it off.
You have like some drapes and carpet shit going on. You need to figure it out.
Yeah, Heinz 57 is what that is. So exactly what it is. You ought to see my DNA. You ought to see my ancestry.com. I mean, my stuff's all over the globe. I got stuff everywhere, man. Like
Brian is global.
There is no purebred with me. So I am a mixed bag. So all right, man. Well,
As Chuck Woolery used to say, it's two and two, man.
All right.
So 2 and 2.
I like it. I like it.
I don't know. Do you remember Chuck Woolery?
I do. Yeah.
All right. Love Connection.
Yeah. Date started off great, Chuck.
It's a weird fucking show.
But then she tried to stab me in the parking lot. You know, that kind of date stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. So.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
All right, man. So 2 weeks, we'll be back.
Unless there's some emergency broadcast, you never know.
Like we had last Friday. So
yeah, that was kind of crazy.
That was an emergency. So fun show. Two back-to-back fun shows. I laughed a lot in the last two shows. So. Yeah,
man. All right.
All right. Well, there's only a couple people watching this, and I think it's probably our significant others.
Go to bed.
They got to make sure we're really doing what we're doing. So, all right, man. Well, I guess we'll see everybody in 2 weeks, and heck, I'll holler at you probably here in a little bit.
All right, brother.
So, all right, see you. Later.